Another thing too, with someone like Jordy, like sometimes people say, well, you're taking jobs away from locals. Like, why would you not want to find someone who's a local real estate agent who seems to know the area, who knows Mexican law? Why not use him and support them versus going to an expat or a foreigner who's come down here and set up his own gig? You know what we want. You understand what the needs that we have or desires that we have. You can build that trust, and you can say, hey, this is not a good fit for you. I don't believe it. There's a lot of construction in this area. You're not just after the sale, you're after exactly what they really want. And you can read that. So that's really great.
Being from Toronto, I can tell you that every single Asian person will hire an Asian real estate agent. Every East Indian will hire an East Indian real estate agent. Every Iranian, I can go through the whole list. They develop communities of their own and they feel comfortable with their own. So you asked a question about, am I coming here and taking a job away from somebody else? Well, I can tell you, those people didn't do their job. They didn't cater to me. Not only that, most of them aren't certified. Secondly, unless you hand them the job on a platter, nothing gets done. Thirdly, are they looking after your best interest? Are they going to put you into a property where you don't have title? Are they going to put you into a property that's actually a hedo land where you'll never actually own it and it could be taken away from you? I wanted to deal with somebody like myself, so I felt comfortable. I wasn't given that opportunity, but all my friends who dealt with other Canadian agents said, oh yeah, you know, this guy took care of me. Everything was great. I bought the place sight unseen, no problems. And of course, I've got a team of people around me, several of them who are very bilingual and are from this area. And the owner of the company is a Swedish fellow who's actually American, who's been here for over 20 years. And he's got his 3 children in the business with him as well. So what I liked about our company, it was a very intimate boutique feel. I said, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to come and sit in that office all day long. We play euchre, we play poker, we play pickleball. I go to the gym. I network with people. I didn't want this to be a real serious full-time, I'm going to work 60 hours a week and wear a suit and tie. I did all that. I didn't come here to do that. We're all coming here to get away from that. So I wanted to be able to engage with people and communicate openly, give them my WhatsApp number so that they can call me anytime and say, hey, this is what you need to do back home to start the temporary residency process. Here's what I'd recommend. Here's what we did, but we wish we didn't do. Here's some things to consider. And by the way, if you're coming here and you're planning on staying for a year, I don't recommend this zone because it's busy, it's touristy, it's expensive, or it's noisy. I'm not just trying to sell you a piece of real estate. I want you to come here, love it, have a good experience, and tell everybody, hey, Jordy took care of me. Because if you turn one person off, they're going to tell 10 people how horrible you are. If you do a good thing for one person, they may tell one friend. So it's very important to really help people. And I've spent my life in customer service. I enjoy it. I enjoy people. And I derive a lot of satisfaction from helping people. So I'm not saying we can help everybody. We turn down a lot of people because their expectations are very high. They don't realize that recently the Canadian dollar has lost almost 25% ground to the super peso. It's starting to stabilize, but that makes it a little bit more expensive now when we expect the peso to settle down and when we expect it to be a good time to think about investing in real estate and or other options outside of this area to consider, because Louise and I have been exploring other areas so that once this area might become saturated and maybe not cost effective, maybe you should be looking at these other communities where it's a good time to invest so that 3-5 years down the road, you may decide to flip out your condo and make 50% on said condo. Not to mention there's capital gain implications. So there's a lot of things to consider, which I like to talk to people about upfront. Canadian real estate is very different from Mexican real estate. Canadian real estate is very, very simple. Mexican real estate is very complex. You want to deal with somebody who's going to hold your hand through the entire process so that it's easy peasy and you don't want any surprises. And just to give everybody an example, some things that people will not know about Mexico, hypothetically, you're buying a place for 500,000 Canadian dollars. The closing costs alone will be $25,000 to $30,000. The closing costs include myriad of things, but that's different than Canada. In Canada, you pay your real estate lawyer $1,200-1,500, and they handle everything from start to finish, including making sure that your mortgage is transferred over or everything is liquidated and changed over into somebody else's possession. Here, if you're living within 50 kilometers of the water, you need to own a trust. It's not expensive to set up, it's not expensive to maintain, but you have to have that. So a lot of people might deal with a local agent, says, this is a great piece of property. Then all of a sudden you're going to do the deal and they go, oh yeah, by the way, we have to set up a trust. That's $700. It's going to cost you $600 a year. Your closing costs are going to be another 6% on top of what I told you it was going to be. And by the way, this is ejido land, so you really don't own it at any point in time. That particular community can actually take that land away from you. So there's a lot of things that you need to know.
No, for sure. That's excellent advice.